My name is Iris Dalton, and I'm 30 years old. For as long as I can remember, I've lived in my older sister's shadow. Her name is Jade, and she's 33. Growing up in Austin, Texas, Jade was everything our mother wanted in a daughter. Beautiful, outgoing, popular at school, effortlessly charming. She had perfect grades without trying, made captain of the volleyball team, and won homecoming queen. I was the opposite. Awkward, quiet, more interested in books and computers than parties and sports. Mom never hid her disappointment in me. She'd compare us constantly. "Why can't you be more like Jade?" she'd say at least twice a week. When Jade brought home a report card, Mom would frame it and hang it in the hallway. When I brought home straight A's, she'd glance at it and say, "Good, now go help with dinner." I learned early that nothing I did would ever be enough. Jade was the sun, and I was just a shadow nobody bothered to look at. By the time I was 15, I'd stopped trying to compete. I just accepted my role as the disappointing daughter. Jade went to the University of Texas on a partial academic scholarship. She studied marketing and joined a sorority. Mom talked about her college experience constantly, showing everyone pictures of Jade at football games and formal events. I went to a community college because Mom said university was too expensive for both of us. She didn't say it outright, but the message was clear. Jade deserved the investment, I didn't. I studied computer science because I liked solving problems and building things. I worked part-time at a coffee shop to pay for books and gas. Nobody came to my graduation when I finished my associate degree. Mom and Dad were helping Jade move into her first apartment in Dallas. She'd gotten a job at a marketing agency right out of college. Mom called everyone she knew to brag about it. When I transferred to a state university and got a full scholarship based on my programming skills, Mom said, "That's nice, honey," and went back to talking about Jade's new boyfriend. I stopped expecting anything different. After finishing my bachelor's degree in computer science, I moved to San Francisco. I wanted distance from Austin, from the constant comparisons, from feeling invisible in my own family. I got a job as a junior software developer at a tech startup. The pay was decent, and I found a tiny studio apartment in Oakland that I could barely afford. I worked hard, learned everything I could, and kept my head down. I was good at coding. Really good. I could see patterns and solutions that others missed. Within a year, I got promoted to mid-level developer. Within 2 years, I was a senior developer leading a small team. My managers noticed my work ethic and my ability to fix complex problems quickly. I didn't talk to my family much during those years. Mom called occasionally, always to talk about Jade. Jade's promotion. Jade's engagement. Jade's wedding. I was invited to the wedding but couldn't afford the flight and hotel. I sent a gift card and my apologies. Nobody seemed disappointed I wasn't there. By the time I was 27, I'd saved enough money and built enough connections to start my own company. I'd been working on a project in my spare time. Software that helps small businesses manage their inventory, sales, and customer data in one simple platform. I called it Streamline. I partnered with 2 colleagues from my previous job, and we launched the company with our combined savings and a small business loan. The first year was brutal. We worked 18-hour days, lived on ramen and coffee, and barely made enough to cover expenses. But by the second year, we started gaining traction. Small businesses loved our software because it was affordable and easy to use. By the third year, we had 500 clients and had hired 15 employees. I was the CEO. I'd built something real, something that mattered, and I'd done it without anyone's help or approval. I didn't tell my family about Streamline. What was the point? They'd never been interested in my accomplishments before. Last spring, I flew home to Austin for the first time in 3 years. It was Dad's 60th birthday, and he specifically asked me to come. I couldn't say no. I arrived on a Friday evening and went straight to my parents' house. Mom opened the door and hugged me briefly. "Iris, you're so thin. Are you eating?" she said. Before I could answer, Jade appeared behind her. She looked different, tired. Her hair wasn't as shiny, her smile wasn't as bright. She hugged me and said, "Hey, stranger. Long time." We went inside, and I noticed things had changed. The house looked older, more worn. Dad hugged me tight and said he was glad I came. We had dinner that night, all of us around the table like old times. Mom dominated the conversation, talking about the party she was planning for Dad's birthday. Then she turned to me. So, Iris, what are you doing out in California? Still working with computers? I told her I had my own company. She raised her eyebrows. Oh, what kind of company? I explained, Streamline, briefly. She nodded. That's nice. Jade, tell Iris about your new position. Jade shifted uncomfortably. I'm actually between jobs right now, Mom. Mom's smile faltered. Between jobs? What happened to the marketing director position? Jade looked down at her plate. They downsized. I was part of the cuts 3 months ago. The table went silent. Mom looked genuinely shocked. 3 months? Why didn't you tell us? Jade shrugged. I didn't want to worry you. I've been applying for new positions, but the market's tough right now. Mom quickly recovered. Well, you'll find something soon. You're brilliant at marketing. Everyone knows that. She turned to me. Maybe Iris can give you some tips on the tech industry, since she's out there and all. I stayed quiet. Jade forced a smile and changed the subject. But I noticed how strange she looked. How defeated. This wasn't the confident, successful sister I'd grown up envying. This was someone who was struggling, and nobody seemed to know how to handle it. The next day was Dad's birthday party. About 50 people came to the house. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends. I spent most of the time in the corner, talking to Dad's brother, Uncle Marco, who'd always been kind to me. He asked about my life in California, and I told him about Streamline. His eyes lit up. You started your own company? That's incredible, Iris. How big is it now? I told him we had 15 employees and over 500 clients. He whistled. That's impressive. Your parents must be so proud. I didn't respond to that. Across the room, I saw Mom talking to a group of women. She was gesturing toward Jade, probably telling them about some past accomplishment. Jade stood beside her, smiling but not really present. Later, Mom gathered everyone for a toast to Dad. She talked about his hard work, his dedication to family, and how proud she was of the life they'd built together. Then she said, and we're so blessed with 2 beautiful daughters. Jade, our marketing genius, and Iris, who's doing her own thing out in California. Doing my own thing. That's how she described building a $1 million company. I swallowed my frustration and clapped along with everyone else. That night, Jade knocked on the door of the guest room where I was staying. Can I come in? I said sure. She sat on the edge of the bed. I'm sorry about earlier. About Mom making you give me career advice. I told her it was fine. She picked at her nails. I'm not doing well, Iris. I've been applying for jobs for months. I've had a few interviews, but nothing's worked out. I'm running out of savings. I might have to move back home. I didn't know what to say. Part of me felt bad for her. Another part of me remembered every time she'd been praised while I was ignored. What kind of jobs are you looking for? I asked. She sighed. Marketing positions. Director level, ideally. But at this point, I'd take anything. I hesitated, then asked, have you thought about trying something different? Maybe a smaller company or a startup? She shook her head. I don't know. I've always worked for big agencies. That's where I'm comfortable. I nodded. We talked for a few more minutes before she left. I lay in bed that night thinking about her situation, and about mine, and about how strange life was. I flew back to San Francisco on Monday. I threw myself into work, trying to forget the awkwardness of the weekend. Streamline was growing fast. We just signed a deal with a major retail chain to use our software in all their locations. It was huge. We needed to hire more people, expand our marketing team, and scale quickly. My co-founder, a brilliant woman named Priya, suggested we bring on a marketing director. We need someone with agency experience. Someone who knows how to build a brand and execute campaigns. I agreed. We posted the job and got dozens of applications. As I was reviewing them one evening, my phone rang. It was Jade. Hey, Iris. I hope I'm not bothering you. I told her she wasn't. She took a breath. I've been thinking about what you said, about trying something different. And I wanted to ask, is your company hiring? I paused. I hadn't expected this. For what position? She hesitated. Anything, honestly. I know you mentioned you work in tech, and I don't have experience there, but I'm a fast learner. I'm desperate, Iris. I told her I'd think about it and call her back. After we hung up, I sat there staring at my phone. Jade wanted to work for me. My perfect sister wanted my help. I talked to Priya the next day. I told her about Jade, her marketing background, and her situation. Priya was interested. We need a marketing director. If she has agency experience and she's good, why not interview her? I felt weird about it. Hiring my sister felt complicated. But Priya was right. We needed someone, and Jade was qualified. I called Jade that evening. We're looking for a marketing director. If you're interested, send me your resume. She sounded shocked. Really? Are you serious? I told her I was. She thanked me over and over. 2 days later, she sent her resume. It was impressive. She'd worked for 3 major agencies, managed big campaigns, and had a strong portfolio. Priya and I reviewed it together. She's qualified, Priya said. Let's bring her in for an interview. We flew Jade out to San Francisco the following week. She interviewed with me, Priya, and our head of sales. She was nervous but professional. She knew her stuff. After the interview, Priya pulled me aside. I like her. She's experienced, she's hungry, and she understands branding. I think we should hire her. I took a deep breath. Okay, let's do it. I called Jade that night. We'd like to offer you the marketing director position. The salary is $75,000 a year plus benefits. You'd start in 3 weeks. There was silence on the other end. Then I heard her crying. Thank you, Iris. Thank you so much. You have no idea what this means to me. I told her she earned it on her own merit. That wasn't entirely true, but it felt like the right thing to say. Jade moved to San Francisco 2 weeks later. We helped her find an apartment near the office. Her first day was on a Monday in early June. I introduced her to the team, showed her around, and explained our company culture. She seemed overwhelmed but excited. Watching her walk through our office, meeting employees, settling into her desk, felt surreal. The sister who'd always been above me was now working for me, reporting to me. I didn't know how to feel about it. Proud, vindicated, uncomfortable, maybe all 3. The first month was awkward. Jade was competent and professional, but there was tension. She called me boss in meetings, which felt weird. Other employees didn't know we were sisters at first, but word got around quickly. Some people treated it like it wasn't a big deal. Others whispered about nepotism. I tried to treat Jade like any other employee. I gave her clear expectations, provided feedback, and held her accountable. She worked hard. She came in early, stayed late, and threw herself into projects. She revamped our website, launched a social media campaign, and started building partnerships with industry influencers. Within 2 months, our client sign-ups increased by 30%. Priya was impressed. Jade's killing it. Good hire. I agreed. But outside of work, things were still strange. Jade and I had dinner a few times, but the conversations were surface level. We talked about work, the weather, the city. Never about our childhood. Never about Mom. Never about the years of comparison and pain. It was like we were strangers playing polite. In August, Mom called me. Iris, I heard Jade's working for you now. Is that true? I confirmed it was. She sounded confused. I don't understand. You're her boss. How does that work? I explained that I own the company, and Jade was our marketing director. There was a long pause. So you own a whole company? With employees? I said yes. Another pause. Why didn't you tell us? I wanted to say, because you never asked. But instead I said, it didn't come up. She changed the subject quickly, asking about Jade's apartment and whether she was settling in okay. She didn't ask anything else about my company or my role. She didn't congratulate me. She just moved on. I hung up feeling the same way I always did after talking to her, invisible. A week later, Jade told me Mom had called her. She's upset. She thinks it's weird that I work for my younger sister. She said it doesn't look good. I felt anger rise in my chest. Doesn't look good to who? Jade shrugged. I don't know. She's just being Mom. By September, Jade had fully settled into her role. She was thriving. She built a strong marketing strategy, hired 2 junior marketers to help execute campaigns, and had started getting recognition in the industry. A tech blog featured her in an article about rising marketing leaders and startups. She showed it to me, excited. Look! They interviewed me about the rebrand I did for Streamline. I was happy for her. Genuinely. But I also noticed something. The article barely mentioned me or the fact that I'd founded the company. It focused entirely on Jade's work. I told myself it didn't matter, that I didn't need recognition. But it stung a little. A few days later, Mom called Jade and congratulated her on the article. Jade told me about it. She was so proud. She said she sent it to all her friends. I asked if Mom mentioned me. Jade looked uncomfortable. She asked how you were doing. I told her you were busy running the company. That was it. No acknowledgement of my role in Jade's success. No recognition that I'd built the platform she was getting praised for. Just business as usual. In October, we hit a major milestone. Streamline reached 1,000 clients. It was a huge achievement. We threw a party at the office to celebrate. Employees gave speeches, we popped champagne, and everyone was excited about the company's growth. Priya pulled me aside during the party. You should say something. Give a speech. This is your company. I hesitated. I wasn't good at public speaking. But she was right. I stood up and thanked everyone for their hard work. I talked about how far we'd come and where we were headed. People clapped. Jade clapped too, smiling at me from across the room. After the party, she came up to me. That was a great speech. You should do more of those. People need to see you as the leader. I appreciated that. It was the first time she'd acknowledged my role in a meaningful way. Later that night, I got a text from Mom. Jade must have told her about the milestone. The text said, "Congratulations on your company's success. Jade says you're doing well. Proud of you both. Proud of you both." Even in my success, I had to share the credit. By November, things between Jade and me started to shift. We began having real conversations. One night after work, we grabbed dinner at a Thai place near the office. Halfway through the meal, Jade set down her fork. "Can I ask you something?" I nodded. "Why did you hire me?" "Really?" I thought about it. "Because you were qualified. Because we needed someone. And because you're my sister." She looked at me with watery eyes. I didn't deserve it. After everything. I asked what she meant. She took a breath. "Growing up, I knew Mom favored me. I saw how she treated you. And I never said anything. I never stood up for you. I just let it happen because it benefited me. I'm sorry, Iris. I'm really sorry." It was the first time she'd ever acknowledged it. I felt something break open inside me. "It hurt," I said quietly. "It still hurts." She nodded. "I know. And I don't blame you if you hate me." I looked at her. "I don't hate you. I resented you for a long time. But I don't hate you." We talked for 2 more hours. About Mom, about growing up, about how the comparison affected us both. It was the most honest conversation we'd ever had. After that dinner, things got better between us. We weren't just co-workers anymore. We were sisters. Real sisters. Jade started coming over to my apartment on weekends. We'd cook dinner, watch movies, talk about life. She told me about her struggles in Dallas, how she felt like a fraud, how she built her identity around being the successful one and fell apart when she lost her job. "I didn't know who I was without the title and the praise," she said. I understood that more than she knew. I'd spent years building my identity around being the overlooked one. We were both trying to figure out who we were beyond the roles our mother had assigned us. One Saturday, Jade said, "Thank you for giving me a second chance." I know I didn't deserve it. I told her she did. "You're good at what you do. You've earned your place here." She smiled. "Still, thank you." That night, I realized I'd forgiven her. Not because she'd apologized, but because I'd chosen to let go of the resentment. It was freeing. In December, Mom called and said she and Dad were coming to San Francisco for Christmas. "We want to see where you both live and meet your coworkers." I felt anxiety immediately. I didn't want her in my space, in my company, but I agreed. They arrived 2 days before Christmas. I picked them up from the airport, and we drove to my apartment. Mom looked around and said, "It's small, but it's nice." That was as close to a compliment as I'd get. The next day, I brought them to the office. I introduced them to Priya, showed them around, explained what we did. Dad was genuinely impressed. "You built all this, Iris? This is incredible." Mom nodded but didn't say much. Then we went to Jade's office. Mom's face lit up. "Oh, Jade, your office is so nice. And look at all these awards on your wall." They were marketing awards Jade had won at previous jobs. Mom took pictures and gushed over them. I stood in the doorway watching. Even here, in my company, Jade was the star. That night, we had dinner at a restaurant downtown. Halfway through, Mom turned to me. "So, Iris, how much longer do you think you'll do the startup thing?" I asked what she meant. "Well, it's risky, isn't it? Wouldn't it be safer to get a stable job at a big company?" I stared at her. "Mom, I own the company. It's not a side project. It's my career." She waved her hand. I know. I just worry about you. Jade's doing so well in her role. I'd hate to see you struggle if things don't work out." Jade jumped in. "Mom, Iris built this company from nothing. She's the CEO. She's incredibly successful." Mom looked surprised, like she hadn't quite processed that before. "Oh, well, that's good." That was it. No apology. No acknowledgement of how dismissive she'd been. Just "that's good." I excused myself to the bathroom and stood there gripping the sink, trying not to cry. When I came back, Jade gave me a look that said she understood. It helped. A little. On Christmas Day, we exchanged gifts at my apartment. I gave Mom and Dad a nice photo book of family memories I put together. I gave Jade a leather-bound journal she'd mentioned wanting. Jade gave me a framed picture of us from the office party, both of us laughing. It was a good picture. Mom and Dad gave me a gift card to Target. They gave Jade a designer handbag. I didn't say anything. After they left to go back to Austin, Jade stayed behind. "I'm sorry," she said. "About Mom. About all of it." I told her it was fine. She shook her head. "It's not fine. You built an incredible company. You gave me a job when I had nothing. And she still can't see you." I felt tears coming. "I don't think she ever will." Jade hugged me. "I see you. And I'm going to make sure everyone else does too." I didn't know what she meant, but I appreciated it. In January, Jade started working on something in secret. I didn't know what it was until she scheduled a meeting with me and Priya. She walked in with a presentation. "I've been working on a PR campaign. Not for Streamline. For you." She clicked through slides showing a strategy to position me as a thought leader in the tech industry. Articles, podcast interviews, speaking engagements, features in business magazines. "You're brilliant, Iris. You built this company, and nobody knows your name. That needs to change." Priya loved it. "This is exactly what we need. Iris, you should be the face of Streamline." I was hesitant. I didn't like attention. But Jade insisted. "You deserve recognition. Let me help you get it." Over the next few months, Jade executed the campaign flawlessly. She got me interviewed on 3 major tech podcasts. She pitched my story to business magazines. She booked me as a speaker at a Women in Tech conference. Slowly, my name started getting out there. People started recognizing me. Not as Jade's sister. As Iris Dalton, CEO of Streamline. By April, the campaign had worked. I was featured in a major business magazine with the headline, "How Iris Dalton Built $1 Million Company from Scratch." The article detailed my journey, my vision for Streamline, and my leadership style. It mentioned Jade briefly as our marketing director, but focused on me. When the article came out, messages poured in. Congratulations from former colleagues, investors reaching out, speaking invitations. It was overwhelming but incredible. Jade texted me, "I'm so proud of you. You deserve this." I called her. "Thank you. For everything. For seeing me when no one else did." She said, "You've always been worth seeing. I just had to learn how to look." That night I called Mom. I told her about the article. She said, "Oh, that's wonderful, honey. I'll have to find it and read it." She never brought it up again. But for the first time, I didn't care. I didn't need her validation anymore. I had my own. By summer, Streamline had grown to 50 employees and was valued at $5 million. We were being courted by investors for a potential acquisition. It was exciting and terrifying. Jade had become my right hand, not just as marketing director, but as a trusted advisor and friend. We worked together seamlessly. One afternoon, she came into my office. "I need to tell you something." I looked up. She sat down. "I got a job offer. Head of marketing at a big tech company in Seattle. It's a significant pay increase and a big title." My stomach dropped. "Are you going to take it?" She smiled. "No. I'm staying here. Because this isn't just a job to me. It's family. And I'm not leaving. I felt relief and gratitude wash over me. You sure? She nodded. I'm sure. You gave me a chance when I had nothing. I'm not walking away from that. Or from you. I hugged her. Thank you. She pulled back. Besides, who else is going to make sure people know how amazing you are? In September, we hosted our annual company retreat. 50 employees, all together for 3 days of team building and celebration. On the last night, I gave a speech. I thanked everyone for their hard work. Then I did something I'd never done before. I thanked Jade publicly. A year ago, my sister joined this company. She was struggling, and I gave her a chance. But what I didn't realize is that she'd give me something even more valuable. She helped me find my voice. She made sure the world saw what I'd built. She reminded me that success isn't just about the work. It's about the people who lift you up. Thank you, Jade, for everything. The room erupted in applause. Jade was crying. So was I. After the speech, she hugged me. I love you, Iris. I'm sorry it took me so long to be the sister you deserved. I told her I loved her too. And I meant it. We both come so far. From resentment to respect. From rivalry to real family. A few weeks later, Mom called. Iris, I read an article about you online. About your company and your success. I waited. She continued, her voice different. Softer. I'm proud of you. I don't think I've said that enough. Or maybe ever. But I am. You've built something incredible. It was the first time she'd said those words without comparing me to Jade. I felt something shift inside me. Thank you, Mom. That means a lot. She paused. I know I wasn't fair to you growing up. I put too much pressure on Jade and not enough attention on you. I'm sorry. It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was something. I told her I appreciated it. We talked for a few more minutes before hanging up. I sat there afterward, processing. Mom had finally seen me. It didn't erase the past, but it closed a door I'd been waiting to close for years. Today, I'm sitting in my office overlooking the San Francisco Bay. Streamline is thriving. We're launching in 3 new markets next quarter. Jade's sitting across from me, reviewing campaign plans. We work together every day. We have dinner together most weeks. We've built something neither of us expected, a real relationship. People ask me sometimes if it's weird having my sister work for me. I tell them it was at first, but now it's just normal. She's not just my employee. She's my partner, my friend, my sister. Growing up, Mom told me I'd never be as good as Jade. She was wrong. I'm not as good as Jade. I'm different. I built my own path, my own success, my own life. And in doing that, I helped Jade build hers too. She doesn't work for me out of desperation anymore. She works with me because she wants to. Because we're a team. Because family, real family, lifts each other up. Last month, Jade and I flew home to Austin together for Thanksgiving. The whole family was there. Over dinner, Uncle Marco asked me about Streamline. I told him about our growth, our plans, our success. Mom listened quietly. Then she said something that surprised me. Iris has always been determined. Even as a kid, I just didn't see it the way I should have. It wasn't much, but coming from her, it meant something. Jade smiled at me from across the table. After dinner, we sat on the back porch together. Things are different now, she said. I agreed. Yeah, they are. She looked at me. I'm glad you never gave up. On yourself. On your dreams. On me. I told her I was glad too. We sat there in comfortable silence, watching the sun set over the Texas hills. 2 sisters who'd spent years competing, comparing, hurting. Now just 2 sisters. Finally on the same side. Looking back, I realized Mom's words were supposed to break me. You'll never be as good as your sister. She said it to motivate me, maybe. Or maybe she just believed it. Either way, those words haunted me for years. They made me feel small, unworthy, invisible. But they also did something else. They made me determined to prove her wrong. Not for her. For me. I built a company. I created jobs. I changed lives. And along the way, I helped my sister rebuild hers. Jade doesn't work for me out of obligation. She works with me because we're stronger together. Because we've healed the wounds our childhood created. Because we chose each other over resentment. Mom was wrong. I'm not less than Jade. I'm not more than her either. We're just different. Both valuable. Both worthy. Both enough. These days, people recognize my name. Tech blogs write about Streamline. Investors want to meet with me. Speaking invitations come weekly. It's surreal. I'm not the invisible daughter anymore. I'm Iris Dalton, CEO, founder, leader. But the recognition that matters most doesn't come from strangers or articles. It comes from Jade, from the way she talks about me in meetings, from the pride in her voice when she tells people I'm her sister, from the late-night texts checking if I'm okay. She sees me now, really sees me, and I see her too. Not as the perfect sister I could never measure up to, but as a real person. Flawed, struggling, trying. We've both grown. We've both healed. And we've both learned that success isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being the best version of yourself and helping others do the same. Last week, Jade and I were working late in the office. Everyone else had gone home. We were reviewing plans for next year's product launch. She looked at me and said, "Do you ever think about how wild this is? That we're here, together, actually getting along?" I laughed. All the time. She got serious. "I don't think I've ever told you this properly, but you saved my life, Iris. When I lost my job, I lost myself. And you gave me a reason to rebuild, not just with the job, but with everything." I felt tears forming. "You saved mine too. You made sure people saw me. You gave me confidence I didn't know I had." We hugged, long and tight. Sisters. Real sisters. Not perfect, but real. As we left the office that night, walking down the empty street toward our cars, I realized something. Mom was wrong about me, but she was also wrong about what success looks like. It's not about being the favorite. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about building something meaningful, something that lasts, something that lifts others up. I built a company, but more importantly, I rebuilt a relationship with my sister. And that, more than any business success, is what I'm most proud of. Mom said I'd never be as good as Jade. She was right. I'm not as good. I'm different. And that's more than enough. Today, Streamline is valued at $10 million. We're in talks with a major investor about expansion. It's everything I dreamed of and more. But when I think about what I'm most grateful for, it's not the money or the recognition. It's the phone call I got yesterday from Jade. "Hey, I'm making pasta tonight. Want to come over?" Simple. Normal. Sisterly. That's the real victory. Not that she works for me, but that we work together. That we chose healing over hurt. That we're building a future instead of reliving the past. Mom's learning too. Slowly. She called last week just to ask how I was doing. Not to talk about Jade. Not to brag to her friends. Just to check on me. It's not perfect, but it's progress. And progress is enough. My name is Iris Dalton. I'm the CEO of a thriving company. I'm a sister, a daughter, a friend. And I'm finally enough. Not because someone told me I was, but because I decided I was. That's the story. Not of revenge, but of resurrection. Of taking the pain of being unseen and using it to build something that couldn't be ignored. Of proving that the invisible daughter could shine brighter than anyone expected. And of learning that the best success isn't climbing over others. It's pulling them up with you.